after this stretch drive for Elias and trying to get the game back to where it needs to be?
Yeah, like I said, it's obviously last game wasn't the way we wanted to play. Playing a desperate team here in Buffalo that played some good hockey lately, so it will be good match for us, and obviously wanna get back and get the 2 points.
Does it help those 4 previous games you guys played, especially against LA, Vegas, Winnipeg, to know that you guys have it in this room to play and beat really good teams?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're a good team. Obviously, last game is behind us now, but that's not the way we want to play. And we're a really good team when we want to, when everyone is chipping in and playing the way we want to. And there's going to be games where, obviously, you're not going to be 100% or play your best. But I think last game was just one of those games where just couldn't get anything going, and so it'll be good for us to get back here and play. Like I said, a desperate team in Buffalo that plays some really good hockey lately.
Based on practice yesterday, it looked like more new line mates for you. How difficult is that as you try to find your game? It seems on a regular basis you got different guys with you.
Yeah, I mean it's part of it. I think been around for a long time, and obviously I was lucky one year there in Calgary. We find some really good chemistry and played pretty much throughout the whole season. So I mean that's kind of rare, but it kind of used to bouncing around a little bit, and that's just the way it works, and so just try to get back to my game and play better.
What are the things you're focusing on to try and get back to your game?
I mean, just be more involved. I think my defensive side is there. I think offensively, I can be way better. So I think, just to read the game a little bit better and be more involved.
Somebody coming from a different organization, what are you seeing from the power play here that you think needs to improve to increase the chances on the power play?
I mean, I think there's definitely a lot of good players. I think, sometimes, when things are not going your way, it's, you start maybe questioning a little bit and start, doing different things. But I think, the main part is just to, kind of keep it simple, get pucks to the net, and usually that's the way, after that, usually most of the plays will open up.
Do you have to change your power play during the season, or if it's successful, you just go with, or do other teams adjust to what you're doing, so it force you to change?
Yeah, I think, a lot of PKs are adjusting to what the power play is doing, and obviously, for example, like a team like Edmonton, you're not going to kill the same against Edmonton as you kill maybe against some other teams. So the PK is adjusting for
trade
teams.
deadline day, Patrick stood there and said Dakota was 10 to 14 days, so today would be 10 days. Yesterday you said you weren't going to have him for a little while still. Is he progressing the way you guys had hoped, or has there been some sort of setback?
Well, he's progressing. I think it's just, we're trying to be prudent with him, basically. I think, when you're in these type of injuries, you got to be really smart about it. We rather take the overcautious approach with him right now. There's no rush to get him. Obviously, we want him in. He's a big part of the team, but rather take the cautious approach right now.
Morning.
Morning, bud.
GMs have met in Florida.
Yeah.
One thing they decided to do, and I talked to Quinn about it, he's obviously a big fan, leaving overtime the way it is. There was some talk about retrievals. You could only have so many retrievals.
Right.
There'd be like a pitch clock in baseball. How long can you get into the O-zone? If there's a stick at the blue line, is there going to be a video review? Anything to slow it down. He's a big fan of keeping it the way it is. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with Quinn on that. I think, you can only tinker so much. I think overtime's fine. If teams regroup, they regroup. I don't know if you can throw rules in, shot clocks and all that. I think we're getting crazy if we do all that stuff.
Quinn said the big thing is we don't play to get the shootout. We play to win. So regroups are part of the process. It's not like some teams delay. They want to get to a shootout. They got some pretty good snipers. But he said, no, we don't play that way. Agree?
Yeah, I think with the regroups, when you're in a 3-on-3 situation, when guys don't like what they see, you got that, they want to pull it out. I don't blame them because, you don't want to force a play. If you see most of the goals in overtime, it's usually a missed shot, breakaway. It's a 2-on-1, 3-on-1. So I think a lot of teams, if you originally see when overtime started, you never saw that much. Now the coaches they're strategizing. They don't want you to lose the puck. It's more possession. So that's kind of why people now they're starting to slow the game. I just think it's strategy-wise.
Another thing that came out is that you're probably going to be able to challenge a high stick, whether it's somebody else, to clarify. Was it a teammate stick, like the severity of it? Because sometimes we see the high stick and it's a double minor when it's not even a minor per se. You like that? Have a challenge?
I just like I don't think he can do it, but if a guy snaps his head and he doesn't touch his face, he should get a penalty. I think it was about 3-4 weeks. We had a couple of penalties against it where it didn't hit the guy's face, and we got a penalty. That's what I think reviewable. That's the stuff that bothers me. Why not penalize a guy that acts? I mean, in soccer, don't they give him a red if you fake it or something? Don't they give you a red card or something? Soccer guys, no, yellow card or something. Maybe we have a yellow card if you fake something.
The Sabres gave up a very good center in Middlestad to get Owen Byram.
Yeah.
And now with Power and Byram and Dahlin on the back end, you only have three really good young defensemen.
Samuelson, too, is a good player.
Yeah, who activate. What kind of problems? Quinn talked about it this morning, too, that they get activated, too. What did you see in last night's game in Seattle? What do you have to watch for tonight with that group?
Really mobile. They're side to side, their lateral movement. Obviously, their puck skills, their skating ability, but even defending, I saw the unreal lateral movement from that group, where they can catch a wide guy, defend and get up in the play. They're very mobile. They're probably got one of the best young defense corps in the league. They're going to be together for a bunch of years. Impressive.
Yeah, Rick, the power play has struggled at times this year, especially since the All-Star break here. Another chance to get things going against Buffalo tonight. How important is it to get that group going as you get closer to the playoffs here? Yeah,
it's big. It's a mindset. I know we only had one. Obviously, we got to get more power plays. We haven't been getting a lot of power plays. So we're trying to guys can't get in a rhythm. That's number one. That's not an excuse. But even last night or last game, there was 3 or 4 great looks. And all you can ask for is great looks. Now you got to deliver, right? You got a one-timer, with the goalie kind of out of the net. We don't execute. We had somebody going downhill with a shot. We don't the looks are there. We just got to start to score. We got to hit the net.
Has there been any specific point of emphasis over the last couple of weeks?
For the power play?
Yeah.
Well, to me, detailed work ethic, sprinting to areas. If you're in a corner, don't be afraid, within the rules, interfere with the guy. The little things in power plays matter. Everybody wants plays. This guy goes there or there. I get that, but the best power plays do the little things right. Whether it's, you beat pressure, it's on. It's downhill, 3 people versus their 2. You execute the play. There's too much emphasis around here on plays and all this stuff, and plays don't. You look at some of the best powers, Colorado, they got 2 or 3 plays. They don't have many plays. It's down to McKinnon, to Nichushkin in front, whether it's a one-timer to McKinnon or McCarthy. They don't have a lot. They have options, but they have the concept, but then they execute, and that's really what we have to get to.
Similarly, on the PK, how do you feel about the state of your penalty killing right now?
Well, I think we've the Minnesota, the 5-on-3s, 4-on-3, 5-on-3 against Colorado. I think 4 and 5 we've been okay. Honestly, it hasn't been that bad. I think with the optics of it because of the 5-on-3, 4-on-3. You got to kill some of those. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's been okay all year. We've had some good stretches, and then it'll be a week where we get a bunch of those anomaly ones. So, can we be better? Of course.
Don't take those penalties, as you always say.
Well, yeah, for sure.
When you're penalty killing, how much is it reacting to what they're doing, or how much is it setting the tone, saying this is what we do and you got to beat us?
Well, if you go from October till now, this is probably the poorest thing of our PK, our clears. we're one of the bottom teams of clearing the puck. If we could even just be midway pack like, if you figure we can get one of those down every game, and you take the percentages, I think your percentage is going to go up. I think our clears have been really bad this year, to be quite honest with you. Again, that's something we got to work on. The guy has it on their stick. It's got to go 200 feet. And if the guy knocks it down, it better hurt. You better break his hand. You can't just flip. You got to rip him down. That's the biggest thing that if I have to pick, like the rest of the power play, I think they've been good, but the clears have been really bad, I think, all year. Got to get better at it.
Obviously, working on some things in practice. Sure. What are some of the things you'd like to see from your team tonight that you've been working on?
Well, offensively, inside play. Like if you're going to the net, we try to do a level offense. Levels doesn't always have to be the same guy, but if you get there, you got to stay there. We're getting kind of pushed. We're trying a lot of high plays where you're having 2 or 3 guys leak from the net, and then if you look at if you have the above camera, you have 4 guys on the outside. It's easy to defend that way. So if you play inside and you have some switches, who goes to the net or whatever, that's the decision making for the defensive team. Who's got who? But if everybody's on the outside, it's easy. I got this guy. I got him. But if somebody comes downhill and this guy leaves, it's like, which guy do I take? That's what you want to the indecisions. Well, that's what happens with our defensive coverage. Is the players will ask you, hey, if they do this, what do you do here? That's the same thing we should be putting in their heads, the defensive guys on their side.
You're talking about Colorado's power play and basically the KISS rule coming into effect. Pretty simple concept, right? Colorado's power play is obviously something you want to see from your power play, keeping it simple. What are maybe 2 or 3 options that you would like to see with your unit?
Well, I think whoever's got the puck down low, if you beat pressure up top, it goes low. I think you just got to outnumber the team and make the play to the net. Like that's what. I mean, McKinnon, when you see him down low, then we watch their power play as penalty killers, and if we pursue Makar and it goes down to him, he's turning, he's either got a backdoor play, he's going to shoot it, he's got Nikushkin going down. There's no other place. If it's conversely the same thing. If we converge low on him, it's going to Makar, and Makar's either going to rip it or he's going to Randon. There's only a few plays after the concept. When teams look at 5, well, if this guy does this, that. You get out there, and what happens? You play slow, and you don't look like you're playing fast.
Follow up on Kuz's question. Obviously, the cell jobs you're not a fan of. You'd like to see that reviewed. Is there any other rules that you would like to see at least discussed?
Yeah, even the video for that. I think there's been a bunch of 3 or 4 goals here where it hits the net, and the plays being tuned. The teams have scored a goal. I think that's got to, I think more of a. We got to go to, better get better cameras or something because there's been some goals. I think it happened to us too once where I couldn't review it because we didn't have the camera angle in time. I don't know, maybe it cost us, I'm not sure. I can't remember, it was a while ago. Was it Sportsnet? No, I'm not blaming anybody.
They don't want legs over the boards anymore either.
I agree with that. It drives me nuts. I agree with that. And I hate the sticks over the boards too because that's those 2 things. I agree. There's no reason to have your leg over the boards. I agree with that. I think it's implemented tonight. So if it's a warning and then it's a penalty. So if my foot's over they're gonna.
Like midnight match, right?
Yeah, but they'll give you a warning. The bench and the next. Right? Do you guys hear about that? It's in tonight. Yeah. So it's delayed game. It's delayed game. So you get 1 warning. So.
Not having a little bit of success, the guys start to change what they're trying to do, so confidence becomes.
Yeah, when you lose confidence, you play slower. Now all of a sudden I get it. I'm indecisive. Then I kind of hold it. Where if you get it and hey man, I'm going to play aggressive, you just play aggressive, and whatever happens, happens. That's the way I look at it. So listen, these guys have been here before. It's a good power play. They've had a history of a good power play. Just now we got to make sure the mindset, we just got to change our mindset a little bit.